He was orphaned when he was 14. He was the first treasurer of America. He was a war hero. And he took a stand in our history.
Here's a brief background on Alexander Hamilton's childhood.
Alexander Hamilton was born January 11th in 1755, way down in the Caribbean, on the island of Nevis in St. Croix.
When Hamilton was 17 and working for a man named Nicholas Kruger, St. Croix was destroyed by a hurricane. Hamilton wrote a testament to his pain, and it got published in the newspaper not long after.
Nicholas Kruger and other St. Croix leaders knew that Hamilton needed a better education, better than what St. Croix had to offer, so they raised enough money to send Hamilton to Boston to further develop his education.
Hamilton officially set sail for Boston for a better education in 1772.
Nicholas Kruger wasn't going to leave Hamilton until he was completely settled in. He had a friend named Cornelius Cartwright, who had a brother named Hercules Mulligan. Hamilton would be staying with him for the time being.
Hamilton loved enhancing his studies in school, but he was also eager to join the American Revolution.
Ever since Hamilton was a kid, he'd always wanted a shot for glory, so he wished for a war. George Washington was struggling to keep the revolution going on the American side, so he called upon Alexander Hamilton for his help. Hamilton wanted to lead a battalion, but George Washington said he was far too important to put on the battlefield. But finally, Washington obliged, and Hamilton led a battalion in the Battle of Yorktown. Hamilton made his first stand not long after the American Revolution.
Hamilton thought that getting rid of slavery would allow the country to have paid labor instead of making someone do it for you for free.
Although Hamilton might have owned slaves at some point, he still stood up against rivals to help abolish slavery. He said he would free slaves if they joined the Continental Army. It was a good solution because America was desperately needing soldiers. He partnered with John Laurens, and they made their dream a reality because everyone is equal. According to Wikipedia, Hamilton believed that the natural faculties of blacks were probably as good as those of free whites, and he warned that the British would arm the slaves if the Patriots did not, in which case the slaveholders would lose their property in slaves without any benefit.
In most of Hamilton's stands, he was countered by James Madison and Thomas Jefferson.
Here's a short clip from the musical Hamilton, written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, of Hamilton rap battling against Thomas Jefferson about slaves.
A civics lesson from a slaver. Hey neighbor, your debts are paid because you don't pay for labor. We plant seeds in the South, we create, you keep ranting. We know who's really doing the planting.
After that debate, slavery grew less and less common until it was little to nothing. Thanks to Hamilton taking his stand, he proved that everyone is equal.
The next thing that Hamilton stood up for was the Constitution. The Constitution was voted on by the people. He stood up for the Constitution so he could put his financial systems into place. No Constitution, no financial system. Hamilton had to convince the people to ratify the Constitution. He ended up writing 51 essays defending the Constitution that came the Federalist Papers. He definitely had the skill with the quill.
After writing 51 essays, he stood up. He convinced the people of America to ratify the Constitution, which was one step in the right direction for his financial systems.
Hamilton had to convince Congress to get his financial systems into place, but he still had his two main rivals, James Madison and Thomas Jefferson.
Although Hamilton has beaten these two before, they are now government powerhouses and are extremely high ranked.
Out of all of the founding fathers, Hamilton had the best financial understanding than any other.
This is how Hamilton put his financial system. He began developing it while he was the Secretary of the Treasury in Washington's first cabinet, and according to history's greatest rivals Alexander Hamilton versus Aaron Burr, Hamilton was the most logical of the founding fathers. He wanted an economy based on investment, industry, and expanded commerce, and without slavery. And thanks to his previous stand, slavery was somewhat gone back in his day.
In the making of Hamilton's financial system, Hamilton had a sex scandal with Maria Reynolds. After that, Hamilton, Jefferson, and Madison came to an agreement where Hamilton could put his financial systems into place if the capital was moved. Hamilton confessed to the public in a pamphlet. He knew that the only way to leave his mark on the world was through his financial system, because he felt he could not run for president and win.
Here's a short interview of Lin-Manuel Miranda, the man who created the musical Hamilton, talking about Hamilton's idea to move the capital to put his financial systems into place.
One of the amazing songs in it to me is "The Room Where It Happened."
Yeah.
Okay, and that's Burr wanting to be in the room where a deal is being cut between Hamilton and Jefferson and Madison, right?
Yeah.
Do I have that right?
Which sounds so boring, doesn't it?
They're trying to figure out where the banks go and where the
Right.
capital goes.
Yeah, it's a song about the compromise wherein Hamilton basically said, we can trade away the capital of the United States to be down near you guys in Virginia if you pass my debt plan, if you find the votes to pass my financial plan.
Yeah.
Which sounds super dry, but
You wrote a Broadway show about creating a financial plan for the United States.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though he made a mistake, he still owned up, and he still got his financial systems into place. Hamilton's final major stand was a big one. He built the very first Bank of America. With this bank, the government and the people could withdraw money whenever they want as long as they paid it back. This helped America buy the Louisiana Purchase, which expanded America. Without this purchase, America would be tiny. So this was the first official bank loan.
Hamilton's death was a tragic one. He and Aaron Burr got into a disagreement about politics. Burr challenged Hamilton to a duel, and Hamilton accepted. At the duel, Hamilton fired his bullet up into the sky when Burr shot Hamilton directly at his chest.
Alexander Hamilton made many stands throughout his life. From slavery to the Constitution, he changed the world as we know it. He showed that even immigrants can make a difference, so everyone can make a difference.
Alexander Hamilton!